Gaming is a weird world, and every month we put together the weirdest stories that come out of it for your enjoyment and for ours. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, the weird gaming stories that happened in May. Starting off at number 10, a 17-year-old in Japan wants to sue the local government because it put out guidelines on the amount of time that a minor should be allowed spent playing video games. Now, the obvious weird part of this story is that a person would have to do that. Various media has framed it as Japanese teen is suing over an opinion, over gaming advice. But here's the thing, I'm completely with the teenager. There's no reason for the administrative bodies, the local government, or really any authority in a municipality or a state to put out gaming guidelines. Yes, it is possible to get addicted to gaming. That's not something that I want to deny. However, isn't it a little wrong to have the state tell you can't do something that's harmless by all counts for more than X number of hours a day? That's weird. At number 9, this is a Twitter account called No Buttons. This is an account where the buttons on controllers, on video game consoles, on basically anything that has buttons, but primarily those things, are erased. It is one of the weirdest looking things. I don't know how to express how strangely disturbing a lot of these Photoshops are, but they are. Now, some of them are just pictures of devices that have had buttons yanked out of them, and those aren't quite as disturbing. I'm primarily talking about the Photoshops, and they're not quite as disturbing as like those pictures where they remove people's facial features and give the human figure an eerie sort of presence about it in that way, but it's kind of weird in the same way. Definitely not to that extent, but yeah, it's weirdly eerie for something that frankly shouldn't really bother you. On the other hand, there's one other way to think about it. Imagine if all these controllers were just touch surfaces and registered everything that way. That would kind of be cool. In some of these instances, at least. The arcade machines with everything removed from them. I don't know. That feels a little bit too weird. At number 8, Square Enix decided to give away face masks with their logos on it, which, cool, that sounds not weird. However, you get a free Square Enix face mask for the, stuff that's going on with the spreading disease if you spend $100 on any physical order. That's right, you have to physically purchase something for $100 to get a free face mask, a free piece of cloth. Now, I'm not going to sit here and really get into how greedy this is. I just want to point out the ad for it notes that by doing this, by spending over $100 on a physical order and getting your free Square Enix face mask, you boost your vitality +1. Now, I know nobody actually believes their vitality stat improves. I'm not saying that. I am saying that's just, don't do that. Don't use your niche stuff when there's a global pandemic going on. Don't use it to make money. Or, don't do it for $100 orders, just do it with every order. When somebody orders something that has to be physically shipped, just send them a face mask. These things don't cost a lot to produce. It's like stickers. Have you ordered anything recently without getting free stickers? I haven't. Just do that with face masks. Don't make them into some kind of incentive to spend more. It's greedy and frankly, it's weird. At number 7, a 90-year-old Japanese grandma, who is also a gamer and a streamer, was recognized as the Guinness World Record holder for oldest video game YouTuber in the world. Now, this is something that you could probably try to contest, but this is a consistent channel that she's constantly worked on for a long time now, and for a record like this, there's probably some pretty specific criteria. Now, to call this weird isn't like, ooh, that's weird, but rather, it's unfortunate that it's weird that older folks don't actually have an in to this kind of community or even just hobby. At number 6, everybody's favorite animal rights organization, PETA. That's of course sarcasm, nobody really likes them. some, including most animal rights activists, protested against a fake fish museum in Animal Crossing. It wasn't just that they protested the game, they actually protested inside the game. They put up signs that said fish belong in the ocean. They repeatedly said empty the tanks. They donned PETA shirts. And they surrounded Blathers, the owl, while trying to, I guess, stop him. Blathers is, of course, an NPC and didn't care. PETA also provided a guide for going vegan in Animal Crossing, which it tells you that you shouldn't do fishing in the game because it's quote-unquote not cool. They also tried to get Blathers' over party trending on Twitter. I don't know if it worked. I hope not, because, again, Blathers is an NPC. I'm gonna go ahead and chalk this whole thing up as really useless and not helpful. At number 5, a gamer was electrocuted by playing his phone. Now, this is a sad one because he actually did die. So I want to go ahead and say, so let's be sure to be respectful. Obviously, he didn't do anything weird. He was just playing his phone. He was found laying on a mattress, though, and when people came in and saw him, they tried to wake him, and he wasn't responsive, and after some preliminary investigation, they think he had been dead for 2 days. He had burn wounds on his hands, so likely what happened was somehow his phone was shorting out his hands. I don't know exactly what to say, because obviously I wasn't there, and this is of course not a normal occurrence by any stretch. Nobody gets electrocuted in this way, especially to death, but it's happened. It's a freak accident, it really sucks. Whoever made the charger is probably at fault to at least some extent, because I've obviously never had a charger electrocute me to death in bed. Something was wrong here. At number 4, NVIDIA created an AI that recreated Pacman simply by watching Pacman. They did not give any code to the artificial intelligence, nor did they give any images to work with. It just watched Pacman play the game. Now, it's not perfect. The AI created Pacman does look kind of crappy, like a Pacman you were playing on a phone with a very low resolution around 2002. But it's Pacman, it's actually Pacman, and that's creepy. I'm not so certain I really want artificial intelligence to be that good. NVIDIA has a pretty cool idea with it, though. You could use this kind of AI to mash 2 different games together, but then they went ahead and say, eventually we'd like it to learn the rules of the real world. No, NVIDIA, no we don't. That's enough. Pacman is enough. At number 3, we just got the new version of the original Mafia game. And in the 4 years since Mafia III got its definitive edition, they still haven't fixed the mirrors, which are apparently a portal to a demonic world in which a warped, freakish version of what is actually going on outside of the mirror is displayed for all to gaze in horror upon. I can't imagine it would be that hard to fix, but they haven't done it, so I don't know. It's just a weird occurrence that I've seen complained about a lot in the 4 years since its release, so maybe they could have, but maybe they won't. At number 2, somebody made a mod to be able to ride giant versions of various animals in the game, including a pig. And I don't know why they did it with the other animals. It's much more fun to just simply ride a pig around. It's hilarious to see somebody riding around on a very big pig. The mod is called Pig Rider, so it absolutely knows where the money is. The creator has a Patreon page for the ongoing development. His name is Julio Nib, and he should be commended for his beautiful work. Finally, at number 1, I'm not 100% sure why this person did this, but the unofficial Elder Scrolls Pages person, I'm assuming the one that runs their Twitter, developed a new hobby of spending a very long time in jail in Oblivion. The character spent 616 years in jail, with pretty much all of his skills atrophying, going away, and if you think about it, stayed in jail the entire time Skyrim happened, and another several hundred years. I don't know why you would do this. It's like the worst version of an idle clicker. You don't even do the clicking. And a quick bonus for you, a video demonstrating just how far Resident Evil has come. If you remember the original tank controls and static camera angles in Resident Evil, it's a far cry from where the game is today. This guy did such a good job recreating it. I mean, it's hilarious. That's what, I mean, you could easily have this happen in the game. You could do it intentionally, you could do it unintentionally. He has it just completely perfectly imitated, and adding in the game's music and sound effects just bring it to a perfect point. Seriously, look at some Resident Evil footage and then look at this. That's it. That's the game. And that's also all the weird stories we have for the month. What do you think? Anything weird happen to you feel like sharing? Leave us a comment. Let us know. If you enjoyed this video, please click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a good time to do so. Click subscribe. Don't forget to enable all notifications. And we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time right here on gameranx.